work with a wildlife biologist who, with cooperation with ADF&G, has collars on caribou in the White Mountains and 40 Mile herd. Apparently, the most cost-effective way to get these collar locations is in a monthly data file that's sent on a CD. But in order to make animations like the one that's running right now, you have to be able to append every month's worth of information into a master data set. Previously, I had figured out how to do this in 2 steps with an Excel VB macro and model builder. But that was still a little bit clunky, and I wanted to make it a one-click solution. This is just what the CSV file looks like when you get it from the Telonix data converter. To get this file into an ArcGIS environment, the most important thing is to get the caller ID and Argos ID, which are the unique identifiers for this animal, associated with the body of the file where each point location is stored. So this is my Python script to do just that. First, you add 2 new columns, one for caller ID and one for the Argos ID, and you write the header of the file with those at the very beginning. And then in a loop, you use the Argos ID and caller ID at the beginning of every row for the main body of the file to record all the locations. Then you use each CSV file and the make XY event layer ArcPy command to create the actual point location for each record in the CSV file. This is what the tool looks like when you actually run it in ArcMap. You click on the script tool, and the parameters that the tool wants are the folder that contains all the CSV files with your Telonix data information, a file geodatabase for that month's worth of information, and I thought this was important in case this wildlife biologist wanted to look at just 1 month's worth of information, and then the master data set that you're going to append that month's worth of information into. So then it runs. It goes through the CSV files very quickly, but it slows down a little bit when converting the XY locations into actual points. But this is what it looks like when it's completed running. So the output data set has the caller ID and Argos ID associated with each record. It only includes locations where the GPS fix was successful and has a date column at the end where the time from the date time, the original column's been stripped out. So when you run this tool for every month's worth of information that we have right now, there's over 50,000 locations, and that's what gets used to make the animation. There's still some improvements to make to this. I need to add a Julian date field. We'd also like to sample raster values at each point location, rasters such as NDVI, the elevation, and vegetation types. However, I suspect that's going to slow the tool down significantly and might make that a separate tool so that every month you can run just the basic function of getting that month's worth of data into the master data set, and then when you're ready to do the analysis of raster values associated with all of those points, it's a separate tool that would be run. Another thing that I'll mention really quickly that's going to be a huge time saver for me is just a really simple script that I'm going to use in the field calculator of ArcMap to update a land status data set that we work on quite frequently. And it's really simple. It just converts the code of land status into a description that is plain English that most people will understand. And so every time we update the code column, it'll update the description so that the two match. And then after you run it, you just apply the layer file with our standard colors, and it makes for a data set that everybody can understand and interpret. It's going to save me lots of time. Thanks.